Welcome back. I'm in conversation with Amritlal Meena, Special Secretary of Logistics at the Commerce Ministry. Also on the show, Shubhrakant Panda, Senior Vice President at FICCI, Anil Gambhir from Blue Dart, and Mihir Shah from EY India. Mihir, when we speak about the move from road transport to rail transport, do you think we need immediate focus on increasing freight speed from 25 kilometers per hour to possibly 50 kilometers per hour? Do you think we need a clear roadmap on that front as well?
Yes, Parikshit, I think the roadmap is already laid out. If you see the investment that the government of India has been making on both the western and the eastern dedicated freight corridors, the objective is essentially to speed up and create a dedicated line for movement of cargo. So I think it's only a matter of time that the two lines and freight corridors are essentially made operational. And then you will essentially see the freight movement speed really significantly going up. There's whole discussion around also double stack containers so that you can carry double the amount of containers on the same level of track. So I think the roadmap is already there. I think with the policy, the implementation, as the Prime Minister said yesterday, policy plus performance is results. And I think the performance is already in action to a great extent. And also, I think it's not just the western and the eastern freight corridors that are being currently planned. I think there are multiple other freight corridors which are also being planned, which will essentially help in the shift of having a higher share of the rail, which will essentially go towards achieving the objective of the policy, which is to reduce the cost of logistics to close to 8%. So I think we are already in a phase of action. Right. And I think over a period of time, we will see that target being achieved for sure.
Right. Mihir, considering our global ambitions and a view to play a greater role in global supply chains, could our targets have been more ambitious?
I think where we come from, I think the desire to go down to 8%, although let me say that the cost of logistics for India, has varied over a period of time across multiple studies. And currently the number that is talked about is 14%. So I think to go from 14% to 8% is itself a significant element. If you see global benchmarks, the US is close to 8%, China is in double digits. I think what really matters, Parikshit, is that in addition to the percentage, we also have
rather
to look
than
at
reaching top 25
number.
By 2030, reaching top 25 by 2030, do you think that target should have been faster?
I think, it doesn't stop us from aspiring to be much faster, to be honest. And in LPI, for example, we are currently 44. But I think what people don't know is the amount of effort and work that is already going behind doors by Government of India, by CBIC, etc. So as we speak, the 2022 LPI survey has just been launched as we speak. So I think we will soon see as to where we stack up and, to what extent do we go closer to 25 and if not higher. So I think a lot of action is already happening. So wait and watch.
Okay. All right. Anil Gambhir, finally, will Blue Dart be making additional investments now in order to utilize this policy, comply with some of the new terms of this policy?
Definitely, when this policy will smoothen movement of goods and services through improved infrastructure, I think that will create a higher demand. And for cater to having higher demand, obviously there will be need for enhancing the capacity for carrying the shipments or the volume which will be generated through improved business scenario. So I think Blue Dart will not be lagging behind in terms of whatever investment it requires to bring the fruit or to exploit the policy fruits. We will not be lagging behind. We'll be in fact ahead of the curve, investing money for improving the infrastructure to handle the improved volume.
All right. My final question to Mr. Amritlal Meena. Mr. Meena, the government and officials like you, while preparing this policy, have thought about every aspect of the supply chain and how to digitize this and also harmonize the submission of documents as well. Now, give us a direction as to where will India's focus be in terms of developing infrastructure, logistics infrastructure in the country to fully utilize the potential, make it easier for supply chains to move and also achieve these global benchmarking targets that you've set for yourself in this policy?
Yeah, see, the logistic cost depends on the four major factors. The transportation, which my colleagues have already discussed about the infrastructure that is being created across different modes of transportation, including rail, Western dedicated freight corridor, Eastern dedicated freight corridor. And apart from that, the critical missing links are being double lines, and then port connectivity projects have been identified which are critical to improve the efficiency of the cargo movement. The network of the express highways is being developed, bypass roads are being developed to ensure speed and efficiency. And to complement these infrastructure, telecom network, gas pipelines, power, all sector, massive work under PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan is being done. Every ministry has targets to be achieved by 2024-25, and work are underway. So with massive investment and the progress in the infrastructure, then the second component is the warehousing. Through this policy, we have developed standards for the warehousing and related physical assets through Warehousing Association of India and the financial institutions. Slowly and gradually, the global standards in the warehousing and related physical assets would be promoted that will bring in interoperability and reduce cost and bring in efficiency. Through the digitization, the tracking and tracing will improve, which will reduce time and increase the efficiency. And of course, the documentation will become digitized, so we will be able to have the clearances faster. So the entire ecosystem which affects the logistic cost have been attempted through the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan and this National Logistics Policy. All components have been taken care of, and there is a very strong coordination mechanism at the national level, where the empowered group of secretaries have been set up at the level of cabinet secretary with all relevant secretaries as members. Similar institutional arrangement have been set up at the state level. In fact, I am happy to share that all the states have set up their empowered group of secretaries. About 14 states have already come out with the state logistics policies. Others are in the process of finalizing the policy. So center and state both are focusing on the logistics. So the effort will definitely bring in result, and the cost, the targets which we have set for reducing the cost from the current level of 13% of GDP to the global benchmarks by 2030, and to be among top 25 countries in terms of LPI ranking. We are hopeful that this policy and PM Gati Shakti NMP will be able to give that result.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Amritlal Meena, Shubhrakant Panda, Anil Gambhir and Mihir Shah for joining us here on News Center, explaining us the Logistics Policy 2022. That's all we have time for on CNBC TV 18. Stay tuned for more.